Alright, it's been a year or two or three or four or nine, I don't know. But I haven't made a video in a long time, and I really thought, decided I should probably make one. I've been meaning to start like a more video game oriented channel where I just go over stuff I found, maybe talk about some stuff, whatever. So I decided to start that today. So over the past few years, I've gathered a lot of crap, a lot of games, a lot of main games everybody knows and everybody collects, you know. So I didn't really want to go through all those. And if I went through all my stuff that maybe I found a little more rare, or maybe as happy about every find in the wild, it'd take all day. So real quick to get a lot of stuff over with. Top of all this stuff, the only new systems that I've added that are a little more uncommon than the NES, Super Nintendo, all that stuff, would be the Magnavox CDI, which is a Philips CDI, but when they license it out to Magnavox and other companies make them. I think I have a Game Gear, Sega CD, and that stuff's not too rare. But anyway, just get into the games. The NES games I found. Keep in mind, not a one of these is really rare. A lot of these are dirty because I haven't got around to cleaning them up. But these are games I found that to me were bigger finds, cooler finds. A lot of them are really common, so get over it. So first we'll start with my favorite game series ever. One of my favorite games ever. You get past all the stupidness. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. I really couldn't find any Castlevania games in the wild. I played them when I was a kid. I've emulated them before. But it's just not the same. So I'm looking for Castlevania games, and I found Castlevania 64, which is actually a better game than some people give it credit for now. But I just really couldn't find anything, and finally, local flea market, $8, Castlevania 2, staring me right in the face. Couldn't pass it up. I considered it a pretty good deal. What do I know? Next, from these next four are from one video game store in Muncie, where I live. A used game store. None of them are really rare. But Metroid. This isn't just any Metroid. This is the re-release of Metroid, the basically greatest hits version, if you will. I can't remember what it's actually called. Someone might remember, and if you mention, I'll tag you in the video or something. But yeah, the re-release of Metroid, different cover. I have the original, but just something about different covers of games, especially if it's a little more rare, that I really, really fall for. It's not worth much more, but excuse me, to me it's pretty cool. Legend of Zelda, great cart, dirty as all hell, but same store, $6. I bought it there. I bought the original Legend of Zelda, way overpriced. Well, not overpriced, but more than I wanted to pay, I guess. Way more than I wanted to pay at $15. He had this on sale with Legend of Zelda 2 up in the front counter for $5.99 each. He was getting a change of prices over, I think, 14 or 15, but I got him before he did, and so he gave me the deal, obviously, because that's just a cool thing to do. On the theme of not rare games, but games that maybe go for a bit more because they're so good, people just don't want to sell them. Contra. Fucking Contra. Every person you will ever meet who has an NES and has just picked it up and wants to go out and find some games for it will be looking for Contra. Every person who's ever had a friend who they hated because they used all of their fucking lives will have played Contra, will want to play Contra, will look to buy Contra. No one sells Contra. Not because Contra is worth a lot of money. It's not because Contra is a divine gift from whoever you believe is divine and hands you those gifts. It's because Contra is one of the greatest games ever. It's a pain in the ass to find, and often it's overpriced when you find it, but it's Contra. What are you going to do about it? So these are the last two games from that store. Well, I bought plenty more, but last two I'll show you. I'm not really a fan. Pyramid's a horrible game. It's not worth a whole lot. It's like $8. I picked it up for $5. But it's unlicensed. I'm a sucker for unlicensed things because they look really weird. With the exception of Tengen, because I had plenty of those when I was a kid. I don't think I'm being weird, but whatever. Captain Comic. Captain Comic, Captain Comic, Captain Comic. It's a bad game. The PC version is fine. This version is absolutely shit. It's Color Dreams, $7, probably too much. Once again, where do you find unlicensed games? And beyond that, if anybody can tell me, I'd really love to know, where in the NES day did you find unlicensed games? I had plenty of family who had 10-gen games. They can't remember they got anything. Where did you find stuff like Color Dream games? I know eventually Color Dreams went over and started making Bible games and stuff, but then they sold them in Christian bookstores. Where in the hell did you find other unlicensed games? I don't know. Does anybody know? Somebody inform me, please. And finally, the biggest letdown in the list, 30 as hell too. I have to clean it. Been playing it too much. This game I actually got from JJ Game. One I ordered online because I'm such a big fan of it. Destiny of an Emperor. If you've ever played Romance of the Three Kingdoms or Dynasty Warriors, or you've read Romance of the Three Kingdoms, or watched any of the associated things, if you're Chinese, or maybe you've watched Chinese, sure, I don't know what you do. I really don't care where your hands are. But then you know all the characters in this. It's an RPG based on Romance of the Three Kingdoms. You play on the Shu side, and you unify China, essentially. And you go out into battle with different generals, and for each one you defeat, a lot of them you defeat, you can recruit to your party. And, there are a lot of, I don't want to say generic, there are a lot of generals who maybe aren't as big in the book and in history, who are just generic guys with generic pictures and generic stats. You can get guys like Lu Bu who have ridiculous stats and will also turn on you. All kinds of other guys. I can't think of anybody for some reason. And it's just a blast. I mean, it's really simple. It's not overly done. It's not overly drawn out. It's not some stupid plot. There's not anything like that. It's simple. It plays simple. Once you understand what each attack does, because the attacks are all Chinese tactics, you can play on pretty well without having to worry about some rare thing you didn't know about. I'll do that next, after this. Okay, moving on. Same flea market as earlier. Found Chrono Cross. Now, Chrono Cross is not rare at all, but I've not seen it publicly in my city for anything under $18 for some reason. I don't know. I found this one. The guy wanted $5 for it, and I was hooked. I was like, okay, give me it. Yeah. Took it for $5. Disc looked great, not scratched up at all. No problems with it. The case is in great condition. The only problem is it does not have the book, but I'm not going to cry over that. $5 for a great game, fully playable. I can find the book online or something. Worked for me. And then the best deal I found, and I didn't know this afterwards, but I just remember as a kid, I had a friend who played this, and I thought it was awesome. And so I picked it up when I found it. Conker's Bad Fur Day for $3. And I hope I can get rid of that stupid $3 right there. It just annoys me so much. $3 for Conker's Bad Fur Day. I picked it up at that same flea market, this time from a guy who just had a bunch of stuff. And he had this whole table full and all this crap, and then he had a glass case. This is sitting in there. And I didn't really know how much it's worth, but he had all that stuff, and he made me a deal, like 10 games for like 20 something dollars, something like that. And I just got my 64. I got 64 again. I've only had one before, but stupid story. And I picked it up, and I got home, and I played it again. It's a blast. It's just hilarious. It's vulgar. It's profane. It's Conker's Bad Fur Day. Good lord, this game costs a lot of money online. I see it go for $60 usually, occasionally 70, 80, 90. People try to sell it on eBay for like 100 some. I don't know. I mean, I guess it wasn't super popular, and it became bigger in hindsight. But Conker's Bad Fur Day, $3. If I could just clean that stupid thing off, it would probably be the best deal I've ever gotten on a video game, which isn't saying a whole lot. All right, now the last two things I have to show. Actual consoles. There we are. Oop. Intellivision 2. Alright, by the way, my camera's dead. Using my laptop. My apologies. Intellivision 2, which is basically Intellivision's cheaper brother. Came out afterwards. Obviously, it's 2. Who the hell named the first one 2 and then the second one? But cheaper components to make the console run cheaper. They locked out Coleco games. So if it's a Coleco Intellivision game, of course they didn't play. I'm rather sure. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, so one of the cool things about this compared to the original Intellivision is they had removable controllers. So if your controller died or you messed it up or your dog peed on it, whatever happened, I'm not going to try to remove it. You can take it out, replace it, get a new controller, boom, you're ready to go again. The weird thing was they lowered the voltage. This is a 16.2 volt, I think, adapter. Who the hell runs 16.2 volt? Nobody. So it was a pain in the ass to get an adapter. I actually don't have the RF adapter for this, which, as I understand, they're pretty easy to find. Because I know Nintendo used some before too, so maybe I can find an RF adapter for it, get it working, see how everything goes. And finally, well, just look. Good old Sega Saturn. I have every Sega console now at this point, with the exception of the Master System. I can't find a Master System. And the Nomad, if you count handhelds. But I don't really count the Nomad because it's basically a Genesis. But regardless, the guy had a Sega Saturn a few weeks ago. I asked him how much he wanted for it. He wanted 40. He came back today to buy it. He did not have the control or the cords. He did have 2 controllers. They're not the original controllers. They're these game pads. It's all tangled up in the bag over here. And it came with Virtual On, which is a mech game. I never actually played it. And so he wanted 20 for it because he didn't have the cords and everything. So that wasn't too bad of a deal. And plus, perhaps the deal maker for me, it has the ST key. And what that is, in case you can't read it there, it's Europe, USA, and Japan. It is, it allows you to bypass lockouts. So, speaking of being a very big Castlevania fan, it means that I can, if I can find it, import this Saturn version of Symphony of the Night, pick it up, put it in, if I get this thing running, play it, have the happiest day of my life. And that's just awesome. So that's it. That's what I got. Not the greatest, not the coolest. Damn it, I'm back. Finding stuff. You'll hear about it. Till next time.